Welcome to GF Square, Gluten-Free Girlfriends with Jen and Ashley, all a part of GlutenFreeRichmond.com.
It's Jen and Ashley, and we are back. Cheers. Cheers to girlfriends. Gluten. Oh, sip. Yes, we have gotten in trouble for not sipping enough. But anyway, we're sticking with the fall theme, and one of those is, of course, crust. Pie crust. Holidays are coming up.
Yep.
And we wanted to try out two different options. One is the store-bought crust.
Yes.
Which is what I had to go find.
Yes.
Which I only found at one place here in town, so in Richmond, Virginia. So that was actually hard.
And you're talking about a frozen store-bought crust,
yes,
not just a mix, because I know those are pretty readily available. But this was the first time you really found a gluten-free option for a frozen crust, right?
And there it was, already done, and that was nice.
Which is awesome.
Ashley is going to demonstrate actually the homemade version, and we're going to taste test, and we have not done this yet.
Yeah.
So you're going to experience it with us.
That's right, for the first time.
For the very first time.
I mean, actually the homemade version was really not that difficult. What I did was, I did do a little research. I found a bunch of different recipes, and I sort of made my own out of a bunch of those. Because obviously there's a lot to consider when you're working with all of the different gluten-free flours, and how do you figure it all out? I figure, let somebody else figure it all out, and then I'll just add a few of my own touches, right?
I like the way you think.
But just like we showed you actually in the chicken and corn chowder recipe, if you saw that, there's another great tip when you're working with a homemade gluten-free dough that we want to show you guys now, because I don't know about you, but I don't bake all that often, so maybe this isn't a new trick, but I hadn't heard of it before, and I'm thinking it's because a gluten-free dough can be so sticky.
So, it is different when you're working with it. Yeah.
So we're going to show you how to handle that and make it kind of easy. So we've got the gluten-free dough here that I've made ahead of time, and this is really, like I said, a combination of flours. There's the base of it is brown rice flour. There's almond flour, sorghum flour, and that's for the sweetness. And then there's a lot of butter, which we like.
We love the butter.
We like. And then it's like a traditional pie crust. You add a little bit of ice cold water until it really starts to bind. What you are going to notice about this is that when you dump it out of the food processor, it's crumbly, which is totally normal. But you form it into a roll here using wax paper. This has been in my refrigerator for about 20 minutes. But this is the great trick I wanted to show you about it being so sticky. You're going to want to take 2 sheets of wax paper and put the dough right in between it. And then what I do is I just start pressing down and kind of flattening it out a little bit before I start using the rolling pin, because you kind of need to form it and help it keep its shape a little.
Then simply cover with wax paper and use a rolling pin to roll it out. Roll and turn, and continue to roll and turn as it flattens out, trying to keep as round as possible.
And you're just going to keep rolling it out here until it gets to be about 1/4 inch thick, and obviously the size of your pie plate. First, peel off the top piece of wax. You want to kind of do this gently because remember, it is sticky. And here is the fun part. You're actually just going to take this guy and flip him right onto your plate. And you want to kind of form it into your shell and start working the paper off as you go.
And then we're going to find out what is better, homemade or store-bought.
Store-bought.
Put in the pan and cut off the edges just like you would a regular pie crust. Of course, you can save the edges if you want to do some fancy work at the end.
And here we are, the finished product. We have a pumpkin pie.
That's right.
With a pre-made crust.
That's right. And then we've got a savory dish here with a homemade gluten-free crust with quiche.
And now, to see what happens.
The taste test.
The taste test, and here we go.
And then it was time to finally cut the pie and the quiche. The quiche, of course, had the homemade pie crust, and the pie, the store-bought frozen. And we ate it up.
So everything delicious, and I think, you know, with the holidays, people coming over, if you want to put together a pie.
Right, and you want a quick option.
A quiche. A pot pie. Anything that can go in a crust.
Anything at all.
You've got 2 options here.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the homemade is pretty easy, but you know, if you need a quick option, then go and pick up a store-bought frozen crust.
I think I think the homemade that Ashley did was a little flakier and a little more buttery. We talked about that, but
I think that's, but that's kind of true with me.
If you've got 5 minutes,
that's right.
Run into the grocery store.
Run! Be done.
And it was still good.
Yeah. So. But all of these recipes are going to be on the site. We're going to do the recipe for the homemade crust step by step, so you'll see that. And then we'll also include the recipes for the pies too.
Anyway, happy holidays, coming soon. and some very easy options. And
all right, cheers to that.
Cheers until next time.
Thanks.
Thanks again for joining us for our cooking segment, GF Squared, Gluten-Free Girlfriends, part of glutenfreerichmond.com. Make sure to visit our site and join us on Facebook. If you have a recipe or idea to share or want to become a sponsor, all of our contact information is online at glutenfreerichmond.com. Ashley and I will be back soon with fabulous recipe ideas, wine pairings, and tons of fun. Two girlfriends cooking gluten-free.
Awesome.
Nice.